it's unfortunate that you decided to play that TikTok, Lou, because it is just filled with egregious lies. Now there are legitimate criticisms of black feminism, but you did not have to play something that is just um false from top to bottom.
Wait,
Can I respond?
wait. I didn't play it like I agreed. I wanted to let people chime in, and then whether or not they agree with something. So the full thing, this is, I think it got. Let me see, got a million retweets, or not
That's
retweets. What is this
terrible.
thing on TikTok? Yes, and a lot of people is in the chats agreeing. Most of the people said facts. This affect all relationships. So did you hear the part where they said it affect the relationship dynamics that we have today? What do you think is attributed to the dysfunction amongst black male and female relationships, Kim? Does feminism or the manosphere play any role at all?
Oh, are you really gonna ask me that
Yes,
question?
yes.
Um, do I think it's I think that the manosphere is a bigger issue in black relationships than feminism. I think black men's primary issue in relationships is economic. And they resent the fact that they don't have the economic power to exert authority in the home, and they take that frustration out on black women.
Or can I
Mm.
Luke? So
And now, for the moment all you motherfuckers been waiting for. All my flip mode niggas rise and await for the most powerful event to occur. The coming! The coming!
Every time I see Kimberly Nicole Foster, I see Cubert. Yeah, I see Cubert. His old arcade character and shit, you know. The old video game character, I put it that way and shit. I don't know how much I'm dating myself, but there used to be a game called Cubert with this little weird looking creature that would hop and change colors on a pyramid and shit. Every time I see Kimberly Nicole Foster, I see that shit. Every time I hear Kimberly Nicole Foster speak, I hear all of the mid, basic females that, are indignant as hell and shit about being mid, being basic and shit, being non-select and shit. A black woman has to be the top 1% shit in her own head and shit. But if you show her a mirror and shit, she's gonna break that fucking mirror because she ain't gonna accept what she see because in her mind she's in the top 1% shit. And I'm angry that I have to talk in this manner and shit, talking about 1% and all this pseudo intellectual bullshit. It's just that I pulling the old Eddie Murphy card from the 80s. What you want to say the bitch is ugly, okay? Right? I want to say that, but it's against standards and practices to just say she's a blah chick. She's nothing, okay? Her education, none of that shit guarantees that you're in the 1% of shit. None of that, none of your money making power, because most of your capital that you spend is on yourself. It doesn't circulate in the community except in your very small circles. So you're not bringing anything to the community's table, as it were, and shit. You're not doing anything and shit. And she talks shit, I don't know what her life was like before she decided to bare her soul on social media and shit, so to speak. Because she's just projecting her own frustrations out on people that don't give a fuck about her. Shit never will. Okay, I was non-select. I wouldn't even fuck, mess with this shit. I don't have to be a father, maybe a grandfather. Yeah, I just get tired of mid-level black women projecting and shit. This is Bust Down Friday, and this is what I do on Fridays and shit for the most part until standards and practices catch up with me. Okay, like she said a bunch of shit, but most telling was she said she was trying hard to control her misandry. She said she was trying to control her misandry. She's failing miserably, okay? And she don't even have to open her mouth for us to feel the misandry coming off her, like the dark side of the force. right? And it's not going to change who you are. You're a mid-level woman. You're homely, okay? You're homely. You're not attractive. You have fake hair that, I seen it with some box braids or something. That's not helping. It's just like yarn. Hey, it's like you're like a bird from Sesame Street in blackface and shit. Besides looking like Q-Bert and everything, I have to say this shit to you. I don't want to say this to you, but you guys demand blind respect and fealty and give nothing in return and shit. And we haven't been asking anything of you, but you specifically in your sorority of mid, frustrated women. One day you'll be a bitter old woman with lunch lady arms. And no doubt, you know, we just want y'all to shut the fuck up. Can you leave us alone? Stop talking about us and shit. Go get you a white man or any other kind of man. Go, hey, prove us wrong and shit. Pop up with some dudes on there. Why don't you do some videos where you go out to the club and shit? Why don't you get your selfie stick or whatever and take your ass outside in the real world and show us how you get down over there if you're so superior and shit, if you're so 1% and shit. We never see your ass out in the real world doing nothing. We see you in your little apartment, bitching and shit. And I've seen pictures of her with a guy and shit. I don't know if that's a real boyfriend or, just a paid guy, a crisis actor boyfriend that she hired or some gay homie. I don't know. If he is really her boyfriend, I want him to come on with her and shit. And they can sit up and wear matching sweaters so I can laugh my motherfucking ass off and shit. Okay? I'm tired of Kimberly Foster's bullshit. Okay? I'm tired. I'm an older guy, old enough to be her father. If she was my daughter, I would tell her to shut the fuck up. I would call her about taking those videos down and shit. I would say, hey man, I want you to take them videos down. And then she did insisted I would tell her that I thought she didn't deserve to talk to men like that. She has no respect for any man on the planet and shit, except the motherfucker that signs her digital paycheck or whatever. It's a whole bunch of you mid-level women out there that's all up in this coke bubble and shit instead of doing something to help yourselves. You don't do shit to help yourselves. You don't try to get better or change or nothing. One way or the other, just go all the way to the dark side or, go the other way and try to live a fulfilling life and shit. But you don't do that. All y'all do is stay in your little coke-like bubble of misplaced misandry and shit. And negging and a very bush league social engineering and shit. Like, how are we supposed to feel when you tell us that, when you say that black men are mad because they don't have any power in the house, any power to enforce and shit? Well, you're the only one thinking like that. I generally never thought about having power over another person and shit. When I exerted force and shit, it was a reactionary response to some bullshit. Okay? Some bullshit. Right? Only in extreme moments and shit. You have a shitty woman, they thrive in chaos. And the only time they ask you to lead is when they don't have any options and they don't know what to do to get themselves out of it, which will be more often than you would think and shit, Kings. Alright? Kimberly Foster is a mid-level, basic Q-Bert looking motherfucker. You look like you should be on The Simpsons or Family Guy or something. You're not even real. You're like an animation of, you know. I'm sorry. I really want to assault you bad and shit, but I feel a certain way. You always talk about your motherfucking feelings, but not about facts or reality and shit. The moderator on the panel, they asked you that question and shit. They were actually asking you a legitimate question, and you couldn't control yourself and shit. And that tells you need some therapy, okay? And not from another misandrist, and not from another mid-level basic maladjusted woman who's hiding in her degree and shit, okay? Your degree ain't shit, okay? Fuck your degree. If you let me see your fucking degree, I want to see your degree. I'ma take it to the bathroom and pee on that shit, cause it don't mean nothing. And any dude that you end up with, or woman, or anything in between, the rainbow community, anybody, any other living entity that you with, including pets, is in a dire crisis because they're sharing oxygen with your ass in an enclosed space. Okay, you're toxic. You're toxic, Kim. Okay, that's why basically what I'm telling you, you're a toxic piece of shit. We're tired of misandry. What do you black women? What else do you have besides chaos and just retarded, contrarian, pseudo politics. Huh? What do you have? You don't have shit. You have a box that nobody really wants and shit, unless there's nothing else left and they're starving to death and shit. They're mid and basic too, and they're struggling. They're like, hey, well, who's gonna know I fucked up? Fuck your degree. Okay, I'm gonna say that. I hope you think I'm jealous or something. I want you to think that or something. Nigga, I graduated before you was alive. Okay? I'm tired of hearing this shit. You motherfuckers, the cult is real. Okay? It's real. Just stop it. Stop it. Get help, nigga. Get help, Kimberly. Help me. Save yourself, Kimberly. Please, goddamn it, please. You're young, girl. If you could just get your shit together, maybe you could, man, you could get a struggle pookie or shit. You gonna get a homosexual on your couch and shit, okay? And you could take him to the barbershop and pay for his haircut and everything, put some Vaseline on back his neck and shit. And dress him up and shove him in front of the camera for a few seconds and shit, you know, long enough to hold up your argument. Okay, you're anything more than a mid-level, sexually frustrated, so much so that you're almost insane. You're almost going insane because you're non-selected. It's pushing the narrative here. Okay, you didn't have me a hello, motherfucker. I wouldn't even look at your ass and shit. You would be mad if you tried to kill me, man. This chick would probably pull a pistol out, a blinky, and then pop me a couple of times and shit. That's how bad you would be ignored and shit. Yeah, fuck. I used to think I was non-select and shit. Then I left and went to the real world. Maybe Kimberly should do this, Come on, get out of your studio apartment or whatever it is, and walk around. You don't even take people on a walk around your house and shit to see all the grand things you brought with your degree. Stop it, Kimberly. Okay, you have any thirst traps on your social media? I doubt it. I bet it's all big close-ups of your face, looking up your nose and shit at your attitude. Okay, hey, you don't have to stifle your misandry for us. We know who you are and shit. That's why you get my unapologetic misogynist anarchist commentary. Shit, my nigga, this has been a teachable moment, and not for kings. It's been for your bitch ass. Okay? It's been for your bitch ass. I enjoyed this shit. I have some rolled up paper here, and I wish to God I could blink my eyes like a genie and make this a big ass Jamaican spliff, and I'll take a toke for your monkey ass and shit. Alright? Them cobwebs in your panties. Alright? I'm taking a hit. Man, get over yourself. Get over yourself and shit. No one is checking for you. Which is pretty much all I have to say and shit. Alright, Kimberly? Take care.
The Black Patriarchy. A non-existent group of fictional black male power brokers not discredited, erroneously jailed or outright killed by the minority majority who look the other way as they work tirelessly to shame, oppress, and outright take out the altruistic black female populace of the honorable democratic United States of America. 3K's inset bitches. These evil wealthy members of the black patriarchy are the sole reason for all the ills of the black community, walking, talking, holding down jobs, and doing everything up to and including giving their very lives in service to their baby mamas and baby's motherfucking kids. Their motto that strikes fear into the hearts of black women everywhere: bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks.